There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Welcome, everybody. Today's podcast number 84. Jerome, was that right? 84, and I got
Randy
a special
Moss.
guest. I finally got a family member on the podcast today.
Uh-oh.
I wonder if any of our families ever watch this podcast. They're probably going to watch it now.
Sevara, do you have any good roasts? Maybe we can bring up later. Any good roasts?
Ooh,
Think about that.
wow.
Like of who?
Think about that.
Of our family?
No, you.
Oh, me? Oh,
I know about your family.
we'll roast Grandma. Sevara, we'll roast Grandma. She's always good for a good joke. Yeah. Anyways, before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out to today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is my wife.
Oh.
Yeah. Jenn, Strong Nation, new age fitness experience engineers so every high intensity move is perfectly synced to music, helping students consistently push themselves past their limits. This martial arts inspired instructor led class will have you moving, sweating, and hitting those calorie burn numbers while focusing on improving your overall technique.
Yep.
Strong Nation is always evolving, always changing, so your workouts will never be boring or predictable. If you're ready to unleash your inner ninja, email Jenn at Jennifermanchur@gmail.com. So she's also got some swag that was just released yesterday.
Oh.
We got a few extra pieces if you like to support the cause.
Okay.
And one other thing I'd like to
What
mention.
is the cause? Because there's a cause.
Oh, yes. Sorry. She's going to be donating $5 from every shirt to, we haven't picked the one yet, but it's going to go towards a dog rescue.
Okay.
So that's nice. And then we actually put a little paw print on there to represent Bailey because Bailey was her dog that passed away a few months ago. Mm-hmm. So she wanted to do something important for the dog. And guys, we also have some Fit Club wear still available for sale. And, if you want to support your small business, your gym, feel free to come down here and purchase something for a Christmas gift.
Yeah, we're still doing curbside pickup. So if anybody needs supplements during this time, then they could still place an order through Jenn or Big Mama, and we can arrange curbside pickup.
Mm-hmm. You got it. So our guest today, Sevara, you know what I didn't do? I didn't even create the intro. I got all excited about our Google Doc. I got our whole podcast together. I forgot to do the intro. So here's the intro. This is my first cousin. She lives in Thompson, Manitoba.
Yeah.
She is currently a nurse. You're going to explain to us your journey through that. Married, 2 kids, and I guess we'll leave it at that for the time being. Okay. So Sevara, welcome to my podcast, or our podcast. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Missed that one. So listen, one of the reasons why I'm going to hit you with some hard talk at first. So I've known you my whole life. Obviously, we're I think 1 year apart in age, and my entire life I've known you to be one of 2 people until recently. When we were younger, you were very let me say angry, but you were kind of an angry person, right? You're always kind of pissed off at the world, I guess, like most younger people.
So did you guys connect?
Not really. Not really. We did. Her brother Trin and me, we were like we were homies, right?
Okay, yeah.
She was older than me, so she hung out with the older kids.
Okay.
And then when you became an adult, I really got disconnected from you because I feel like you sort of hid away, if you will.
Mm.
And it was only until recently when you started your fitness journey. And good on you for having the balls to just put it out on face or onto social media and show everybody what you're doing. I mean, I know how hard it is to put it out there and be scrutinized for posting. Mm-hmm. And what you're doing is amazing. It absolutely is. So I guess one of the questions that I had, or one of the main questions I had, was, can you tell us the reason or where you were in life, what happened, and that you finally started doing this fitness journey? What was your motivation?
Well, I've always been competitive. I've always been into sports. I've always enjoyed that kind of stuff. That's always been part of my life. I kind of got out of it after I had kids and life shifted, right? And I still managed to kind of go curling and whatever, but then I decided to take my nursing as well after I had kids. So there was just a whole lot of different stressors and whatever that just kept adding up, and things that I didn't deal with in my younger years started catching up to me. Like, it was just chaotic. And so I finally graduated nursing. I went to work. I got the dream job that I've always wanted, and I freaking hated it. I hated it. And
what
really
specifically was
time.
it? What was that dream job?
It was just in a department
Okay.
in nursing that I've always wanted to work in. And
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
And but it ended up being a terrible fit for me. It just was not what I thought it was going to be. It sent me spiraling, like really badly.
Okay.
And I was suffering from hip pain because I had put on so much weight. My inflammation was bad. When you have stress in your life and you're not managing it, and it starts to physically affect you, you're in bad shape. Like that's, that you need to get help at that point. So I was working this job. I wasn't doing anything. And, my kids were in school. My son was dealing with a gluten and dairy allergy at that time. And we were getting him assessed for some learning disabilities at school. And it was just a lot. My husband was working all over the place. And so, I crashed. 2018 was it. I slammed into a wall. And I think I just got pissed off enough that I decided this is it. Like I need to make a change, and I quit that job. It took a lot out of me.
Oh, really?
Seriously cried for weeks on it, but I did it. I quit the job, went to another one, and I just started taking care of myself. I started going to the chiropractor. I started getting massage therapy. I started seeing a therapist to deal with the past shit that was coming up from like when I was in my teens yet.
Okay.
So that all made a huge mind shift for me. And then at the end of December, that's in 2018, I hit play with Beachbody. I had it for like 8 months already by that point, never used it.
Yeah.
So then I hit play, and then that was it. Like I haven't looked back.
There's a couple of things that you wrote in this in the Google Doc, and I thought they were pretty powerful words. There's 3 of them that you used in particular, and I can relate to the first one. And the first one's very powerful, and it's something that we tell ourselves when we don't feel good. And it might be the most detrimental thing that you can say, but yet at the same time the most powerful, right? And you said you kept showing up, or they kept showing up in the group, and I finally just got tired of feeling gross, number 1, embarrassed, number 2, and ashamed. And the list goes on at the shit that I used to call myself. This is your words. And the word gross, what a word that is to describe yourself, eh?
Yeah, and that's how it was. Like it was such a, like, what a sad life to think of yourself as gross.
Yeah.
But it was a daily thing. Like I couldn't even look in the mirror. I wasn't looking in the mirror. Sure, I was putting my makeup on, but I wasn't seeing myself because I refused to, because that's how bad my self-image was. Not even just my image, but just everything about myself. I just thought I wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So do you have a certain, like, what kind of success have you had since 2018? So you already mentioned that you feel better. You don't consider yourself gross, but do you actually have a number? Like, did you lose X amount of weight, or
what are your wins?
I'm at about 25 pounds now. It's been a really slow journey. My body's been fighting me because I think I just abused it for so many years with crash dieting and alcoholism and whatever else. Right. So it's fighting me every step of the way, but whatever, I'm going to beat it. So I'm about 25 pounds down. I've got a lot of inches lost. I didn't look before I came on here to see how many, but yeah, I would say it's probably close to 20 inches, if not more.
So what would you say works? Like what, you said you tried
consistency,
yeah.
Consistency, being consistent and doing it daily. And I struggle with food still. That is a big struggle for me. There's a lot of emotional eating going on, and I'm working on it. It's getting worked on. It gets a little better all the time, but I know even Rick, I messaged him not long ago. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Like I was just so frustrated with it. Cause when I get stressed, the first thing I want to do is I want to go get those chocolates and chips, right? That's what I want. And it's not alcohol anymore, which is good because that was what it used to be. But now it's kind of shifted to that. And I need to really work on that part still. So
RJ, let me answer that question that you just said. So just watching your social media, and everybody, we're going to put let you know how to follow Sevara, because watching her workout videos puts a smile on my face. But here's some of the wins for you that you might not notice, but I've noticed. You used to have a very red face, and you don't have it anymore. It's almost like your tonality of your face has evened out. Your smile is real, not fake. Your hair looks really good. I know you used to always cut your hair short. Now it's nice and long. There was a picture of you the other day. I was like, wow, she's beautiful. Look at this. I can feel your pleasant energy. It's not an angry energy like it always used to be. It's very pleasant. And, just like you said, when you sent me a message and say, hey, help me out with food, it's now your ability to ask for help. Right? I almost feel like that's the number one thing that people don't do, is they feel like I'm not worth it. How do you even ask for help? Who do you even ask for help? And so that was the one thing that I went through, was by finding RJ on Instagram and reaching out to him. And that was the beginning of my journey. So I just wanted to give you, to let you know what we see when you're putting this stuff out on social media. There's a lot of wins that maybe you don't even know yet.
So let's ask the audience. Audience, first of all, who's tuning in live? If you're tuning in live, say hello. If you're watching the replay, then go #replay so we know who's there. But we'd like to know, what got you started? What was the trigger that got you to start taking care of yourself and start working out? So I have a question for you here. What do you use as a measuring tool? So like you said, 25 pounds, and you kind of like, I lost 25 pounds. And so to some people, that weight is like the thing, right? So like we jump on the scale every morning, and that determines if I'm successful or unsuccessful. But that doesn't seem like the case for you. So what is your measuring tool?
No, I call the scale an asshole, because that's what it is. So
we should make a T-shirt like that, Rick. That'd be a good T-shirt.
I hate the scale, so I don't weigh myself often, just because like I said, my weight and we don't get along. But anyway, I measure myself is what I do, and by my clothes. I can tell by my clothes, definitely. Yeah.
What about you, Rick?
What do I measure? I do use the scale, but that's more of I ate too much on Friday, and I want to see how much I gained by Sunday. But I'm pretty.
That used to be a game for me.
Yeah. But I'm at the point now where I can drop that 7 pounds of bloat within 5 days, right? So I'm lucky that I've progressed in my fitness journey where I can sort of control that. But it boils down to how my face looks. Whether I can always tell it kind of in the chin area, and the clothes. Right. I have 2 sets of T-shirts, and I have a large and a medium set of T-shirts.
Okay.
And basically, if some days I'm the large week, and some days I'm the medium week, and that's it.
So what do you think, Sevara? Should we challenge Rick to just give those large shirts away and never go back?
Sure.
I think we need to issue that challenge
right now. I'm not gonna worry. I own a clothing store. I'll bring in new shirts in 5 seconds.
So we got some audience engagement. Claire says that she was depressed, and she knew that she would feel better working out.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, you always feel better after a workout. Marilia's tuning in. She says hello. Sarah Buchanan says hello. I'd actually like to know the audience, what are they using as a measuring tool, especially our members. We actually send out a video as part of a measure. Like, you have to measure. You have to have some type of thing that you can compare, so that you can have a motivational goal or something that drives you to move forward. So you have to have a measuring tool. It doesn't have to be scale. And whatever that measuring tool is, you have to have a healthy relationship with it. For you get angry, right? People get depressed. Some people get angry. Some people get sad, right? And you have to use that and realize, okay, these are my natural responses. So use that as a motivational tool. If you jump on the scale and every time it makes you want to cry, then you need a different measuring tool.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
But have one. So I'd like to know from the audience, what are they using as a measuring tool?
Good question. Let's talk about, or let me give you some context to my question that's coming up. So when I was at my worst, Sevara, do you remember me when I was heavy? Could you have that picture in your head?
Well,
it's like 5 years ago.
I don't know. We never really saw each other a whole lot, right?
Maybe social media.
Your wedding, your wedding and stuff, I was there, but.
So good. So my wedding I was just starting to get back in shape. Okay, so my wedding pictures, I was big. I was not happy with my wedding picture.
Well, your shirt was open.
My shirt, yeah. So anyways, that was where I was at with that. And prior to that, and this is a question about relationships, is when Jenn and I were engaged, and there was 1 year, and I put it out there, that her and I had sex 2 times in 1 year. It had nothing to do with her. It had all to do with me, and I hated myself. I did not want to get naked in front of her. I couldn't stand the way my body looked. And I remember her, we were in, I think we were in Calgary. We were visiting Mitch and Michelle. And, we're on vacation. You should have sex on vacation, right? Yeah. And I didn't even want to touch her because I was so disgusted with myself, grossed out by myself. And she just started bawling. And basically, I realized then that I have to do something different. Like, I'm totally disconnected from my own wife. I'm giving her no physical attention. She doesn't deserve that. She didn't do anything wrong. It's all on me. So how have you navigated your relationship with Jerry and the kids? Like, how was it, and how has it improved?
Rick, you know what? It's so similar to that story. Like, just absolutely, when you don't feel good about yourself, you don't want to put yourself out there. You don't want to be vulnerable, right? So, and that, like, I just hid, like you said, I hid from everybody, and including my husband. Like, it was a hard go for a few years, like not even just a year, it was a few years. And it's getting healthier by the day. And it's a lot. Like, our house used to be so tense because I was angry and upset and mad and whatever because I just wasn't happy. So it's really turned around. I'm so much more patient. My kids talk to me now, and as opposed to hiding away and not wanting to ask me something in fear that I would be mad at them and yell at them, right? So it's really made a big effect on that. And like I said, it's the exercise plus talking to a therapist really helped with that, like just learning how to manage those emotions and stuff. And the exercise, like now I'm in that routine. I get up at 5 a.m, which is amazeballs for me because I'm one of those ones who could sleep till noon. I really could. But it's just made such a difference in my day that my whole day goes good now. I'm not coming home stressed out and wanting to just eat everything and yell at everyone. I'm come home and I'm smiling. I'm happy, right? Like,
has Jerry verbalized anything? So Jerry, her husband, he's a very I'm not gonna say a passive guy, but just a very chill dude. Very chill. You know what I mean? I don't know if I've ever seen him get even bothered. Never mind angry, but even kind of bothered about anything. Is he retired yet, by the way, or is he still working?
You know what? He retired. It'll be 3 years in January from valet.
Okay.
He kind of took a year off, and actually he's now working out in Snow Lake at the mine there for for another year or two, and then we should be ready to hightail it out of here.
So has he said anything out loud to you about, hey, this is my you're a new woman, new wife? Has he said anything? Yeah, like what?
Recently, he come up to me, slapped my ass, and said, "Hey, I like this."
Good. That's good.
So it's
when.
Yeah, and it is, and I know it's motivating him. He was going to the gym. He's lost a bit of weight, but he can't, like, to work out at home. It's not his thing. So with the gyms being closed now, he's struggling again, right? Because I don't know. So I'm trying to get him to work out with me, but we'll see.
So Rick, what would you give advice to somebody, like, and a lot of people are going through this, especially the people that were so used to just going to the gym, but they barely made it to the gym. Now with the gyms closed, everybody's on sit still, right? Like, I'm going to wait till the gym opens. So what would you recommend to somebody that has that mindset?
Okay, so if you already are a gym goer and all of a sudden COVID hits, lockdown, number one is keep moving, right? And by keep moving, I mean walk. That's going to be the number one thing, because that's the easiest thing. Everybody can do it. You can do it outside, you can do it on a treadmill, and it's not even that cold yet. So nobody can say it's 40 below, can't do it. Number two is going to be the focus on your nutrition. This is the time where you don't shop for extra snacks, right? You got to you have to, it's just like a drug addict. You have to just keep the cocaine away from yourself. Call your dealer, AKA No Frills, and say no more chocolate bars, potato chips. Just keep them away. And this is a great opportunity for people to learn how to cook. And this is one of the things on my list, which I am doing, RJ. I haven't quite created my vegan meal for my wife, but I will.
You're coming on Nary's Kitchen soon. So.
I am. I am.
You've already set a date for that. So.
I have. So, learn how to cook for yourself in a healthy way, right? And it's also a way to occupy your time. And that would be my last point, is occupy your time. I know right now for me, moving into the condo, my life has gotten very simple. Like I don't have to shovel snow, take care of the grass. I don't have a giant garage. I got a very small space. So there's times where I'm tapping my fingers like, what can I do here? So I've never been more organized in my life. Everything is organized. My closet is organized. My underwear is organized. My socks are organized. I went and bought podcast shirts. Like I got everything. So that would be my advice, is to just stay busy mostly.
Well, that's one of the nice things about downsizing, is that you can't just store stuff anymore. Like the thing that you would normally take and put in the garage or the basement, you can't put that there anymore, because it's going to be in your living room.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be in your bedroom. So Sevara, what do you think? So somebody that was a gym goer, and the gyms have closed now, and they're just like, I'm just going to wait until whatever and start back up. What would you recommend to somebody like that?
Don't stop. Keep going. Like Rick said, it's not cold out. I mean, even up here, we're sitting at -3. This is ridiculous weather for us. Usually we're -40 by now.
It's like +2 right now.
And, just fresh air. To me, fresh air is so important to have in your life every day. You need to get out. Even when it is -40, you get your snow pants on and you go. Like you just do it.
Yeah.
And, food definitely is so important. And I mean, as a nurse or a healthcare worker, I mean, we're all working ridiculous hours, and it's so easy to just order that pizza or pick the wrong stuff, right? Everybody brings in food and you're potlucking forever and whatnot. Buy yourself bags of salad and keep it on hand to take with you for a quick lunch. I bought myself bags of salad and rotisserie chicken.
Nice.
So I'm taking it apart. I'm making salads.
Easy.
That's what I'm taking. So because it's just me and the kids this week, Jerry's gone working. So I need to be on my game.
Yeah.
And it works. So, I mean, it's just easy little things you can do like that, instead of grabbing that chocolate bar or whatever. Right. So keep yourself hydrated. Very important. And, there's lots of good stuff on the internet. Like you guys had an amazing price there for your online videos while the gyms are shut down. I mean, I'm doing my beach body. There's stuff on YouTube. There's stuff everywhere. There's no reason for anybody to be sitting idle.
Yeah, so here's the next question, Sevara. How do you get people motivated? We all know what we should do. We all know we should not eat chips. We all know we should watch Fit Club on YouTube. But for some reason, people just can't get motivated. So I don't know, what kind of advice would you tell people to just get it done?
If I don't know if I have that answer, Rick, because I mean, I've been talking to a lot of people recently, and they have such a hard time investing in their health, but yet they'll invest in other ridiculous things, right? Like,
Netflix,
good point.
Netflix subscription.
Yeah. Like
higher
whatever,
speed internet.
Right?
Yeah.
Ordering food, whatever, right? Like, I mean, it's, so I don't know why people's minds work that way. If it's just easier to go that route, so maybe that's why.
What I would tell somebody is environment. You create an environment of growth. So everybody that's in lockdown right now, they're from home. Create an environment at home that is dedicated to your workout space. This is what I got from Rick. So for instance, prior to COVID, when my wife was working, she had a gym there. And so once a week, I'd always plan this day date where I'd just go there and we would just work out. Now that's obviously closed. And so I woke her up this morning. Actually, she was ready to go. And we have a whole workout space dedicated. So I got like fans on both ends because I get really hot, right? Like there's not great air circulation. So I got the nice flooring. I've got 2 fans. I'm going to get a TV that we're going to get mounted so I can, stream it from there. I'm going to get the speaker set up. So it's like, it's like you're right there. Nice. So you create that environment. So that would be number one, is you have to have an environment at home that's dedicated to your workout space. If this is going to be it, if you can't have a gym that you dedicate your workout time to, then have a dedicated workout space at home. Number 2 is that I would say for like getting people to move is that you should invest in winter clothes. Like, I hate winter, right? But I'm changing my mindset. So what am I doing? I'm doing online research of like, what's the lightest, most warmest winter boot I can wear? Yesterday, I went and picked up the kids on the sled. There was no snow on the ground. And I'm pulling them on mud, but still, I got out. Like, I'm just becoming. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go outside. Trust me. I go from one indoor to the next indoor to the next indoor. So when I go outside, it's now growing on me. So it's like you have to let these things grow on it. Like you said earlier, is that you have consistency. And then when people are at home, you can have the snacks. If they're entering your house, which they're going to, let's just face it, everybody's going to buy that big bag of pretzels, right? You go to Costco and those what are they called? The cheddar and the caramel. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't go to Costco for that particular
big bag
reason.
of popcorn.
Yeah.
And anyways, you just make it inconvenient. So for me, I'll take a portion out and I'll put it on the counter, and I literally go to the counter, which is like 10 feet away, grab one pretzel, go sit back down on the couch, and every time I want, I got to get up and get it. And it's such an inconvenience that eventually I'm just like, forget this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, it's hard to not stand in the cupboards and just take a handful of whatever it is, even if it's nuts, and you just eat it, then you go sit down, then you go stand up, you eat another handful of this. Like, I legit portion them out on the counter, and then I'll go and eat one and go sit down. And so it's super inconvenient.
Yeah. And I think that's the other point about staying busy.
Yeah.
If you're busy, you're not focusing on food.
That's right.
So whatever, man. Like you said, organize your closet, organize your garage. Like one of the things I did, I went and tailored all of my clothing. I just said that's going to be I'm not going to stop until I do it. I have all these little things in my condo. Like I wanted these little clips. We got new blinds, and I have these rods that you use to bring the blinds up and down, and they've sat crooked. So it was my mission that day to find these stupid little clips to make sure. Most insignificant thing that you'd never even share or talk about, but I did it. So everything is 100% organized in my life now. So personally, I really feel like I'm winning.
Yeah.
Probably just through organization and by keeping myself relatively busy. Now, thank God I have this facility, right? So I know that I'm doing a little bit better than most. But Sevara, shout out to you for doing it at home. And one of the other points, or the last point I would make to this, is find somebody who you relate to and follow them, like a Sevara.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Find yourself a Sevara who has your story that you want to see. Like, I want to see your story unfold. I will be your biggest fan now forever because I want to see Sevara of 2020 and 2021 and 2022. So everything that you're doing, cuz, just keep doing it because you're killing it. You're crushing it.
So, Sevara, you might like this. When we started this whole virtual training back in March, and I was the anti-body weight calisthenics guy. I'm a heavy lift with explosive movement. So, example, I would do a heavy squat with the jump squat after. That's my preferred choice of training. Yeah. And then when we were basically forced to do this, we were all sore. Like, we were all so sore every single day. One by one, we were kind of like tapping out, and then we'd get back in, and it was just like, it was a struggle for us, right? And the one guy that motivated me was Shanti. So he's a Beachbody guy, right? Like, and I follow him on Instagram. He's a little bit out there now. Like, now that I see his stuff, he's a little bit too much, but he's got a good physique, and he's older than me. So if he can do that I think he's around 42, 43. I'm 38. I'm like, I got, this guy's got 4 or 5 years on me. I'm like, man, I got another 4 or 5 years minimum. So if he keeps going with it, and he's got the grays and everything, and you know what I mean? Like, I can definitely do it.
All
Recently,
right.
J-Lo motivated me.
Oh, yeah?
Did you see that photo?
No.
I posted a photo. Did you see J-Lo's photo? Her naked?
She's every woman's dream.
Dude, she's 52.
Yeah. Well, she's
51.
Jen's. Yeah.
And I'm like, man, J-Lo hasn't stopped. You know what I mean? Like, let's watch J-Lo's photos over the past X amount of years, and she's fitter now probably than was fitter when she was with In Living Color. You remember that as a fly girl? So
I do. Yeah.
That's super motivation. To me as a man, I'm like, J-Lo's doing it at 51. She's performing. I just saw her, and she was like dancing and crazy. I'm like, I could do virtuals for the next 20 years.
It's not as hard as we've always made it out to be.
No.
Like, prior to COVID, you always needed a huge gym, lots of people,
lots of equipment,
15 coaches, all the different equipment. Like, you had to have so much freaking variety. And even on your end of things or our end of things, we were always trying to think, okay, well, what other piece of equipment can we jam into here to keep everybody exciting? It's like, that's what I like about COVID is it almost brought us back to reality. Like, simplify your life a little bit and realize you don't need so much. And and then getting back to my minimalist lifestyle is the less stuff you have, the less stuff you stress about. And the less stress you have, Sevara, you can relate to this. Less stress you have, the more you can just excel in life, right? So no, I agree 100%.
And it comes back to environment, right? Like,
absolutely,
you love your environment, your Beachbody environment. Like, we have workouts, but there's workouts on YouTube. There's tons of workouts out there, but we cater an environment where we're engaging with our members. We make it fun. When it's in-house, it's all about the show, right? We always say, I gotta put on the song and dance sometimes, right? Like, you just put on that show. So I would like to see. I don't know. How are you following her? I guess is Rick have
Instagram.
a subscription or? I see your posts, but is like you've seen her work out?
Yeah. Well, she puts her workout. Well, sometimes she puts her workouts on sometimes, and then sometimes she's like this fast forward.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you call that, Sevara, where you do your workout hyperlapse. Yeah.
I discovered TikTok recently.
Oh,
and
good.
I just love their
That's fun.
videos, so that's what I've been doing recently. So.
But I watch her for like when she's about to do a burpee, or she just did a burpee, or she just did something hard, and then she gives you this face like, for fuck's sakes, I hate this. Like, it's so genuine and it's awesome. I always bust out laughing every time she does it.
So I've had a recent discovery. I found out what my least favorite exercise is, because I love them all, right? But now I've actually found out what it is. So let's start off with you, Rick. What is your least favorite exercise?
You know what? I want to say burpees, but I actually understand the importance of it, and I know that they're a great overall exercise to do, but they just suck. They're so hard to do, right?
Yeah.
I would say that one of the things I don't like doing is a jump squat, only because it burns really bad. But again, I know it's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't have one that I hate that much because I get it. You know, they're
so
all good for you.
You dislike, but you will do a burpee and a jump squat.
You know what? Here's the thing.
So what about a burpee jump squat? I think I'm going to put that in a surprise program. I'm doing programming today.
Who you,
Rick's going to be here.
Sevara, what's your worst exercise?
Yeah.
God. It's
burpees.
It's
it's on the edge of your...
I don't like the burpee. I really don't, but this might not make a lot of people happy, but I really don't like yoga.
Yeah.
I'm just not a yogi. It doesn't keep me engaged. So I would rather do burpees, 20 of them, than do yoga.
So do you think that you're the type of person who needs like speed and excitement and hype?
I do. Yeah. Absolutely. If it's not getting my mind going, I'm not enjoying it. So like even the stretching after, I'm kind of just doing my own thing after because it's too slow for me. Like, I mean,
Eventually, you'll probably start to appreciate the stretching a little bit more. But I'm like you.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. When I first started, who cares? Stretching? Come on. I'm here for a workout. Let's get this in and let's get this out of here. But wait, tell me this. I'm forget your weight aside. What have you noticed that you can do physically, functional movement different than you could a year ago, 6 months ago?
Oh my God. You know what? I'm doing right now the program that I started with in 2018. That's because it's my anniversary month. It's 2 years now that I've been on this journey. And so I decided to do it for the month, right? And I can do everything now as opposed to when I first started. Like burpees, for example, I can do them now. Like, I mean, it's not a problem. So, and planks, I had such bad hip problems, just from an old injury, whatever. And I still have to get it, like it's still kind of there, the issue, but it's so much better. And now I can drop and do a burpee. I'm not a big jumper. I still have a hard time with that. That may be forever though. I mean, that's my knees just don't like it and whatever, but I do the best I can, and everything has improved drastically.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So speaking of jumping, that is my least favorite exercise, a tuck jump. Tuck jump. Not only do you got to jump and land, but you have to draw your knees into your chest and then do it repeatedly. I'm okay for like 2 or 3 tuck jumps.
That's the thing.
But
30 seconds
give me
of
30 seconds
sucks.
of tuck jumps, or when Hugo or whoever throws in a 40-second round, it's like, no, this is too much. I know Hugo would never do a tuck jump.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But he'll make you do it for 40 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd like to know from the audience, there are no bad exercises. So we'll say, which are the ones that when you see that we're doing them today makes you go, ugh. So comment below, everybody. Comment below.
So, Sevara, here's since I have you as a family member on the podcast, I want to talk about the way we grew up and related specifically to fitness. All right. I don't remember a single person in our family, and let's just pretend that you and me and all the family were back at Grandma's place on the farm. One thing that I remember always is walking into a haze of smoke. You remember that? Everybody smoked cigarettes. And I mean, this was back in the 70s, early 80s where everybody did. It wasn't just our family. Everybody smoked. Yeah. I also remember that everybody just drank extremely heavily. You know, like there was always no shortage. I mean, and then we would, as kids, sneak off upstairs into the rooms there and we'd be drinking and booze as well. And then what did we eat, right? Pierogies. I mean, we're Ukrainian. You eat all of the covered in bacon and butter and sour cream.
Yeah.
I guess the point that I'm trying to say is because you and I have lived the same life, and you're a parent. I'm not a parent, but what kind of things are you implementing now in your life so that when your kids get a little bit older, they're not following in the same footsteps? Not saying that family tradition is bad. Not saying that drinking is bad. I would certainly say smoking is bad. But what are you kind of, how are you steering them these days from the way we used to?
I don't know. I guess we live a completely different life than I did as a kid. So, I mean, I live in town. I work, like we both work full time. It's a completely different life compared to what I grew up. So it's kind of hard to compare the two, but I still, like Ukrainian Christmas and stuff, I still make a dinner for that here and whatever, but it's not every day, right? Like we make our big pierogies, we eat them at Christmas. That's about it. I don't make them throughout the year like as a kid. I cook healthy. Like we've always got fruit and lettuce and healthy just stuff in the house. Try to make meals for the kids, lunches, whatnot. Like that was never done for us. We were on our own all the time because mom and dad would go to work. So half the time I didn't eat. Like I had pizza pops for lunch, from the cafeteria. So it's a lot different. And I mean, same with drinking too. Like, I mean, up until a few years ago, I continued my binge drinking. Like that's pretty much what you could call it. Cause I didn't know how to drink. It was like you drank the bottle or you didn't drink at all. Right. So now I can enjoy a glass of wine and enjoy the rest of my night. Right. Like I don't have to have that whole bottle anymore. It's kind of like the whole mind shift has shifted and the kids see that and they notice right away the big difference in how things are flowing throughout our house now. And it's been a lot less intense, I guess you could say. So
your relationship with Danica, your daughter. So you have two kids, one boy, one girl.
Yeah.
How would you say your relationship is different with your daughter than it was with you and your mother, Angela?
Oh, that's a big subject for me, Rick.
Give me a point on how. Because I know I feel like the mother-daughter relationship is always challenging. But now, and I guess my question specifically is this: let's say pre-2008 Sevara to post 2000 or 2018 to post 2018 Sevara. How has the relationship with your daughter been any different now that she sees that you're changing as a person?
I mean, I think we've always had a good relationship. She comes to me now more with more things that are going on and whatever. She has her own challenges that she's dealing with. And so it's, our relationship is pretty tight. So with her and I, she'll join me once in a while for a workout, but not often.
Yeah.
So, but, I'm hoping one day that when she is on her own, she'll just kind of continue it. Right. I mean, I remember those teen years. I didn't want to do anything my mother did. So it's a little different. She is willing to do stuff with me, but it's so
let me ask you this. Do you think that it's ever too late to be a positive influence for your kids? So
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how do you go about doing that? So let's say you've got a 13, 14-year-old teenager that knows it all. And, for 13, 14 years,
she's laughing because she has one.
Yeah. All they've seen you do is, guzzle down wine on the weekends and eat potato chips during the weekday. And fitness was not a part of your journey. So how would you, or what advice would you tell a mother that is getting into her journey? And then how can you get your daughter or your son or whatever kind of influence in the positive direction?
You got to keep it positive. You can't shove it down their throat. You can't make them do it. You got to be just be that positive influence and kind of incorporate it into your daily routines, whether that's by making their meals a little bit differently or inviting them to work out with you. And I do almost every day. I say, hey guys, you guys going to work out with me in the morning? 5 a.m. Nah.
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe if I worked out after work, they might be more enticed, but and just keep that positive environment, keep showing up, being accountable, and eventually they're going to join you. But I can be, like, why aren't you guys doing this? Why aren't you guys eating this? That can happen around here. It's not perfect around here, but you can't be that way. They'll listen better by example than they will by being told.
And being, like we said, consistent, right? So that's a recommendation that I would give to parents that have young kids. Like I have a almost 2 and almost 4-year-old, is just consistency. Is that, they're going to do what you consistently do. So if I can start them off at 1 and 2, like I just think about some of the habits I had as a kid versus like the habits that my kids have. Like my kid can do a full push-up. He hasn't shown Rick yet, but my kid can do, he doesn't know like on the knee push-ups, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but he's 3 years old and he can do easily 10 to 15 push-ups off his toes. So that example is like from day one, and it's been the same message all the way throughout.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what, even regardless of being a parent, I've surrounded myself with people who do things consistently, and that has inspired me to do consistent things as well. That's actually a big thing. Look
at this podcast.
Yep.
That's 84 episodes, right? We haven't taken a week off.
And here's a shout out to my wife. Here we
go.
Of which.
Yeah.
So yesterday, so now that by the way, I have a new name. It's Condo Rick.
Okay.
Did you know that?
Condo
Sevara?
Rick, aka
That's my
Chaz.
new name, just so you know.
Okay.
Condo Rick, because I'm all about the condo lifestyle. And so now I'm always cleaning the condo. I organize the.
You wear a little outfit too, or?
Not yet, but I told her to buy me one.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for it. Where it's coming from, babe. And anyways, so I organized the cutlery. I'm organizing the way the knives are. I'm organizing the pantry because I want it to be the way that it makes sense for me. And I said to her yesterday, I'm like, babe, for years I never gave a shit about cleaning the kitchen or organizing. Like, she just came home and she cleaned it. Never said anything. I may or may not have thanked her when I did it. But looking back on it now, it inspired me. So now I'm the person who does it, and I want to be the one who cleans. So, yeah, whatever you do, the smallest little things in a positive way will eventually inspire somebody around you to do it as well. So,
can I ask you a question, Sevara?
Yes.
So, and you mentioned about dealing with your past, right? So you've been dealing with your past. You're probably maybe still ongoing dealing with the past. Now, somebody that has, baggage, so to speak, right? Would you think that they need to face whatever happened or whatever they've been dealing with all their life first before they make a change? Or is that something that you kind of like slow, like what is your approach to that? You got to deal with it first, then move on, or do you kind of face it and deal with it as it comes?
It can kind of affect everybody a bit differently. I know for my journey, I kind of started facing it before I started getting healthy, just because that's the way everything kind of fell. However, for some people, they might be well into this journey, and then you hit that point of happiness or like fulfillment, and then bam, you're hit with something that happened in the past that suddenly you're like, shit, I need to deal with this. And it's because you're feeling so good that these little negative things that you've hidden for so long are coming back. And so you just deal with them as they come. You're already kind of ready to deal with them, but you got to make sure you deal with them and you don't go backwards, right? So it's ongoing. For me, it's ongoing. Like, I'm still working out a lot of stuff, especially in regards to my mom and whatever else. Like, there's just a lot of stuff there. And every day it gets better. It gets better. My relationship with my mom is much better than it was 10 years ago. My relationship with my family is better than it was 10 years ago, because I'm just learning to let go of the anger. But it takes time, and it could hit you at any point. There's triggers, right? And
well, I applaud you for openly saying that you are seeing a therapist. I think a lot of people are. It's almost embarrassing, and you feel a little bit of shame, like, how do I go about, do I need a therapist? And like, how do you recommend, like, I know a couple people that can really use some therapeutic help, maybe even myself, but how do you even like approach that? Like, do I bring that up to the doctor? Or, like, is he going to shame me? So I think that, for you openly saying that and actually reaching out that professional help that you're doing that. And so would you recommend for people to maybe explore the options of seeing a professional?
Absolutely. And you know what? If you were diagnosed with diabetes, what would you do?
Yeah.
You're going to take a pill, exercise, and whatever, right? It's the same damn thing. It's no different. So the stigma behind mental health really needs to like just get lost, because it's like any other illness, really. And talk to your friend. If you think you need a therapist, honestly, talk to your friend about it, because chances are they've seen one or they've thought about seeing one, and they're interested in learning more about it. Like for us, we have a fantastic program through our work, so I mean, it's available to us anytime. And I mean, as a nurse or as a frontline personnel, you see a lot of trauma. So if we don't deal with that, we're going to burn out, and we're not going to be able to work. We're not going to be able to be moms, wives. I mean, so you need to take care of up here. And honestly, for me, like I said, taking care of up here started the rest of it for me.
Nice.
I think the importance of finding professional help is it's somebody that they're there for your needs specifically. I think a lot of us tend to either dump our problems on our wives or our friends or the people around us, and people, like, we're just not equipped for that. You know what I mean? Like, if you dump a 15-pound weighted vest on my shoulders, I can easily do that in my workout. But you dump 15 pounds of your problems on me, I'm just not built out to be that mentally strong. Like, that's just, I think that we have to realize that your spouse is not your therapist. Your spouse is your spouse. No. And so,
exactly.
Or your girlfriend or your brother or your coworkers or whoever it might be. And so, I've never seen a professional. I'd love to, like, I think that there'd be some interesting findings.
Yep.
And so, I'm definitely going to look into that. But I would 100% agree with it. And I'll tell you this, the most wealthiest, successful people that I personally know on a one-to-one basis have all seen therapists. So it doesn't mean that you're unsuccessful by seeing professional help.
Oh, well, I want one now.
Yeah.
I want a therapist.
Yeah, you got 5 minutes after?
Sevara, we're going to wrap up the podcast, but I want you to channel yourself back 20 years ago, Sevara. Okay, so we'll say 20-year-old Sevara. All right, we'll do that math. What kind of advice are you giving yourself? Or what would you give to a young lady as far as advice with just respect to remaining generally healthy moving forward?
Well, 20-year-old myself.
Hit us with it, Sevara. Don't hold back. Let me hear it.
I would say quit fucking drinking.
Okay.
Get your butt moving. Stay consistent.
Yeah.
And keep working on yourself and get help, mental help a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Get that anxiety dealt with a lot sooner. And just the issues from your childhood, get them dealt with a lot quicker than waiting till you're 40 like I did.
So what are you telling yourself right now? So we've got the last 20 years. What are you telling yourself to do for the next 20 years?
Yeah, what does Sevara 3.0 look like?
Just keep going. Keep doing what you're doing, sister, because you're on the right track.
Boom.
Nice. And you know what? Okay, so we're gonna leave it with that, guys. Everybody, do me a favor: like, comment, share this video. Sevara, you're gonna put it onto your social media. Make sure that everybody sees it. Yeah. We are out. Sevara, thank you for coming on to the podcast. And the last thing she said, quit drinking. I would recommend it to everybody.
Yeah.